All right, who you picking to win the Big Ten, man? You got the teams that are top heavy, obviously, Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State. You got Michigan with the fourth best odds. Where are you going in the Big Ten?
I love Penn State to win the Big Ten. I just think they're too good, man. I think James Franklin is going to have that. And I love Drew Aller, man. I love Drew Aller this year. He's going to be. We're going to talk about Heisman, finalists later. And spoiler alert, he might be in mine because I love Drew Aller that much this year. I think that this team, this wide receiver core, is a perfect blend, especially with the schedule that they're running as well. I'm going to also bet Illinois under 9.5 wins. Sorry, Brad Evans. Illinois under 9.5 wins. I don't believe in the hype. I do believe Brett Bielema is a good coach. I just don't think that they have enough in the Big Ten with all of the other teams that I think are going to be very good this year to go over their 9.5 win total. And then for me, Michigan to make the college football playoff. I'm going to bet Michigan to make the college football playoff. I love this team. I do. I am a big believer in what they've done. I'm a big believer in the coaching staff. I'm a big believer in the roster that they've built. I love everything about Michigan this season, and it hurts me to say that as a Notre Dame fan, but I just think Michigan is that damn good this year. So Michigan to make the college football playoff right now is plus 445 was what I think I saw it at earlier on BetMGM. So that it's too good of a price for me to pass up. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that as well. But yeah, Penn State, man, to win the Big Ten. I don't think there's Ohio State. A lot of people talking about them. I still think Penn State's the better team.
Rob, where are you going in the Big Ten, man?
Listen, I in this weird way, I kind of feel for James Franklin. I'm kind of pulling for him, like in a weird way, because I like James Franklin. I've gotten to interview James Franklin a couple of times in my career. He is as genuine and nice of a dude as you'll get the chance to talk to. And I think we do this thing where sometimes we forget that only one team can win the championship, and it is mother bleeping hard to do. Like James Franklin got to the semifinals last year and lost a very good game to Notre Dame. The concern I have with Penn State is Drew Aller, and I don't think that's unfair. I go back and I look at the games they lost last year. Loss number 1, Ohio State. Aller was 12 of 20 for $146, no tutties and a pick. I go back to the first loss against the Ducks. Aller was 20 of 39, 226, 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions that theoretically changed the game. And then I go look at, that was the Big Ten championship. And then I go look at the semifinal where they lost just by a field goal to Notre Dame. Drew Aller was 12 of 23 for 135 and 1 interception. The 3 biggest games of the year were the 3 spots last year where Drew Aller just was not the guy that I need him to be to believe that Penn State can win the Big Ten, will believe that Penn State can win a natty. So this is probably, I think, Horvat, I think this is outside of the ACC, which, yes, Clemson's going to win that conference. I like some dark horses. I'll put some scratch down, some sprinkle bets on some dark horses, but this is the conference that feels like it's up for grabs that I am going to go chalk and go with Ohio State. I understand that Julian Sain's the big question mark. Here's my take. Julian Sain comes from where? That's right, the University of Alabama. He was recruited by Hoomst. That's right, the GOAT Nick Saban. And you can argue that Jalen Milroe was a miss for Nick Saban. I would disagree with that respectfully. I don't think Jalen Milroe was as bad as he was made out to be. Nick Saban didn't have a lot of misses at quarterback. And if Saban believed that Julian Sain was the guy, I'm comfortable believing that Julian Sain's the guy. And oh, by the way, that Jeremiah Smith kid they got, you know, that what's on the cover of the EA Sports college football game because he's a dog. And oh, by the way, Ohio State ain't been hurting for defensive linemen and linebackers the last couple of years. I just think that, A, they are the best team. And while the pressure is on Franklin to get it done and prove that he's not a waste as the head coach, Ryan Day just finished getting that monkey off his back. Ryan Day was taking all that same criticism for the Buckeyes, and he just got it done this past season. I expect the momentum to carry forward. I got Big Ten being won by the Buckeyes for 2 years in a row.
Yeah, man. Maybe we're just overthinking this and they're just still the best team. I just worry a little bit about losing both coordinators, right? Like losing Jim Knowles, losing Chip Kelly. They do lose a ton of talent. But if Julian Sayan's the real deal, we know Jeremiah Smith's the real deal. He's going to be a top 5 pick, and they still have a ton of talent. I'm going to go chalk with Brando, though. I like Penn State to win the Big Ten at plus 220. 7 starters back on offense, 6 on D. I actually like Drew Aller, man. And now they actually bring in some wide receivers that could actually create some separation. They lose Tyler Warren, who's going to be a stud for the Colts. So they're not going to have the same type of production in the tight end room. But I like Kyron Hudson from USC. I like Devontae Ross from Troy. And Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton are both back. For me, though, it's not about it's not about James Franklin. It's more about the coordinators. I like Andy Kotelnicki, and now it's year 2 for Drew Aller in that offense. And they steal Jim Knowles. So I actually like them on November 1st against Ohio State, even though they're on the road. And then they get Oregon at home on September 27th. I know a lot of people are down on Oregon or out on Oregon because they don't know how good, the quarterback position is going to be. But I actually kind of like what I saw. Granted, it was the spring from Dante Moore, man. I mean, not obviously what I saw at UCLA, but he was like 15 years old. He was a true freshman. But I just feel like the Will Stein offense is a quarterback-friendly offense where it could go from Bo Nix to Dylan Gabriel, now to Dante Moore, and they're not going to skip a beat. I worry a little bit about the wide receiver room because Tez Johnson's gone, Holden's gone, and then Evan Stewart had off-season knee surgery, so he's out for the year. But last year they were number 1 in the Big Ten in total offense, averaged 35 points per game. And I think they're going to be better on the defensive side of the ball, man. I think that pass rush is going to be legit. So I think people are sleeping on Oregon. I think the Big Ten, how many teams do you think they get in, man? I think Oregon gets in. I think Ohio State gets in. I think Penn State gets in. And then I think one more team gets in. So Michigan, like I said, the defense is going to be good. It just comes down to, is Bryce Underwood an upgrade over what they had last year? He's a true freshman. Or it's going to be a sleeper team. And that's why I kind of like Nebraska. Like, I made the case for them last year because of Matt Rule, but Dylan Raiola looked young. But I like the Dana Holgerson hire, man, especially like him taking over play calling. The last 3 games of the season, Raiola actually got rid of the ball quick, didn't throw a ton of picks. I think Nebraska is going to be really competitive this year, and their schedule works in their favor. So there's going to be one dark horse team, I think, that has a shot. Maybe it's just Indiana. We're all overthinking it. How many teams do you think they get in?
Say that. Are we overlooking Indiana? Like, is Indiana going to be just as good as they were last year? I mean, that's going to remain to be seen. I mean, would they get ranked? Were they ranked in the top 20 in those polls? I believe they were. When the coaches poll came out today, but man, it's the same thing with the SEC, right? Like, we could probably just have a college football playoff and let's just go top 5. Or top 6 SEC teams, top 6 Big Ten teams, and just have a really good football playoff. And I think we would all be okay with that. I think that they will get. I would bet under. I would bet under 4. I would say
under 4. Ooh,
yeah.
I think I would go 4, dude. I think I would go 4. I think it could be Michigan, like I said. I think it could be Nebraska. I think it could be Indiana, Mendoza. We talked about this with Joe DeLeon the other night. I said, who's your favorite quarterback in college football? And he said Fernando Mendoza, who's now at Indiana, man. I love the call on, I don't have the heart to say it, Illinois under 8.5 wins, dude.